Spencer Gallup. How are you doing?
What up? I'm good. It's nice outside. We got some nice weather the past couple of weeks. It's been good.
A nice little summer sit. Not really summer, I guess, but getting outside in the morning. A nice tan for the ginger man himself here. I try my best, but
What?
can't really tan here, but it's okay though. But, outside of everything else we got going on, bowling. Bowling we've really been going at. And
Dang.
and a fun little story for everyone out there. People don't know that Spencer is on the PBA tour.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm the best bowler. No, I'm not.
He literally is going against Jason
Norm Duke
Belmonte.
wishes he was me.
He
Yeah.
is going against
Yeah.
Jason Belmonte this weekend. So please cheer him on.
Yeah.
Um
Check it out on FS1.
we're an innocent plug for FS1. Spencer's not doing that. But one day he could be, you never know. Spencer, we got a lot to discuss today. Okay? A lot in a
Yeah.
quick, timely manner. But before we do that, everyone who's watching this or listening to this, wherever you are listening to this, make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that push notification bell to stay up to date on all of our new videos. We appreciate all the new subscribers that we continue to get on a daily basis at this point. Make sure you follow us on
Yep.
Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure you give us a 5-star rating as well, and go follow us on our social media channels at Ball N Beatz Media on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter. Yes, it's Twitter. Go do it.
It is
Spencer,
Twitter. It'll always be Twitter.
we're going to start off today doing our Pac 12 preview. Okay? This conference is officially back.
12. 12? I think you mean 8.
I mean 8, but it's Pac 12. Have you seen the.
Essentially, it's essentially like Mountain West light.
It is Mountain West. It's literally Mountain West, and you sprinkle in Texas State, and you have basically
A
yeah,
couple of the leftover Pac-12 teams
a couple, just two.
that
The
nobody
Pac-2,
wanted.
the glorified Pac-2. You gotta love the Pac-2.
I will miss that. I will miss Oregon State, Washington State, playing twice in a year.
I wish they would have played
Didn't
8 times in a
Washington
year.
State won it, didn't they?
Yes.
Who won the Pac-2? Was it Washington
I think
State?
it was Washington State. Maybe it was Oregon State. I want to double check. Hold on. We're going to double check here before we.
Because I thought Oregon State won at home against Washington State, but then Washington State won by like more points at
Washington. So Washington
Pullman.
State lost to Oregon State 10-7, 1st of
Yep.
November, and then at the end of the year they lost 32-8 to Washington State in Pullman.
So Washington State, I think, wins it based off of point
Yep.
differential and record.
Yep, you are correct. You are correct.
Yikes.
But the Pac-2 is no more. It is the Pac-12 yet again. Of course, you have
8.
Boise State, Colorado State, Utah State, San Diego State, and I'm blanking on the other one that I didn't say yet. Fresno State coming into the Pac-12 from the Mountain West. You also have Texas State coming from the Sun Belt as well, joining Washington State and Oregon State. Basically, the battle of the states is what we have.
Yep.
They should have named this the State Conference, the Pac State Conference or something. I don't know, but I don't every team with a state name is interesting.
Crazy.
It is crazy, but and I will say this, I think this conference, out of all of them, out of every conference we're going to preview, including the Power 4 conferences once we get there, this one has to be the hardest to predict by a wide margin, I think.
It's a lot of question marks. It's the main thing. And like some decent teams, and then you have some really good teams, but it's the main thing of that. You only have 8 teams in this conference, and a lot of them are new, so it's going to be brand new to them as well. And that's going to be the interesting part, is how these teams fare out. Because these predictions, nobody knows how they're going to go.
No.
This is going to be a wide open conference that has some teams that can make the playoff. I think Boise State can make the college football playoff. And we're going to have some really fun matchups, because there's a lot of really good offenses in this league as well. So
The one thing I will say, a lot of these teams have some brutal out of conference schedules. And I do think that that could, depending on if they sneak a couple wins out of it, maybe they could be a better team than some people think. Or if they get blown out in some of these games or aren't competitive, maybe that could go into conference play with them too. So it'll be very intriguing to see how everything shakes. Plus, you have the flex game in this conference. You will have a flex game playing one opponent twice because of the fact that they will need to play 8 conference games and you have 8 teams, you
Yep.
only have 7, so they're going to have a flex game. So that'll be intriguing to watch as well at the end of the season. And Spencer, I want you to start us off here with your last place team. I don't know how you. I know towards the top, maybe we'll probably agree a little bit more, but I have no idea
Yeah.
what we're thinking here towards the back half.
Number 8, the last place team, I have Oregon State.
Okay.
Oregon State, they have brand new head coach in Jamarcus Shepard coming in. They're overgoing a massive talent overhaul. I mean, they have a lot of guys who left, and they have some guys who came in. The biggest, in my opinion, I mean, they got Aaron Butler from Texas, and they're bringing in Braden Atkinson from Mercer,
Yep.
who we both know how badly we wanted on Toledo,
And everything with Mike
and how that
Jacobs.
would
They
have been.
also brought wide receiver Adonis
Yeah.
McDaniel from Mercer as well with Atkinson.
Yeah. But it's gonna be. I mean, they went 2-10 last year. I don't expect a lot from the Beavers of Corvallis, but I think they can get a couple wins. I mean, like 3-9. I don't know if there's gonna be a team that is like 1-11. Like 3-9, 4-8. I think this is going to be a competitive conference no matter what, but I think Oregon State might be the least competitive team just because there's a lot of overhaul going in. And while there is a lot of different coaches in this league, I think Oregon State will probably be last in my opinion, just because they had a bad year last year and going into a conference where, well, I don't know if I want to say going into a conference, but having other members join a conference that have established themselves as winners in their previous conference, whether it was the Mountain West or Sun Belt or whatever, that's going to be my biggest question mark for the Beavers. I think Braden Atkinson can be a very good quarterback, and that's my whole reason why um, I think that Oregon State could get some wins. He was really good at Mercer. He won, was it freshman of the year in
Yes.
the
And
FCS?
FCS.
So, yeah, I mean, we all want him at Toledo, but he chose Oregon State, and best of luck to him there. I just think it's going to be a rough year for the Beavers.
It's tough to really gauge the Beavers in particular because they still have Malik Murphy. And Malik Murphy, at least when he was at Duke, you saw he was pretty decent. He was pretty decent before he left for Oregon State. Obviously, last year was a completely different story, but I think
They
with Oregon
announced the
State,
starter.
they haven't officially announced the starter
Was it
yet. It's
okay?
probably going to be between, I mean, it is between Murphy and
It's
Atkinson, but
Atkinson and Murphy. Yeah,
either way, I think both of them will play at some point, regardless,
yeah.
depending on how the season goes. For me, this one I think is a bit of a stretch, to be honest with you, who I have in last place, because I think this program by year 2 or year 3 of this head coach could potentially be a top 3 program perennially in this conference. However, I just have questions and doubts heading into year 1. I have Colorado State in last place with Jim
Wow.
Mora, and he's bringing a lot from
Wow.
UConn, of course, but there's so much turnover, like so much turnover. Granted, 4 of these programs have so much turnover.
Yeah.
Who's going to be quarterback? Is it going to be Darius Curry? Is it going to be Hoss Hedgney, who's an Oklahoma State transfer?
Probably
I
going to
just
be Hedgney, if I had to guess.
it's more I'm buying the stock low right now because I just need to see all the change. I just need to see what
Mhm.
happens in year 1 with Mora. I believe in Mora. I think it's going to work in Colorado State. Will it work in year 1? I have to see it. And so I am just putting them in dead last for now. I might have
I,
to
you
come
know,
on here and
I
say that.
understand the reasoning. Yeah, and I understand the reasoning. There's a lot of turnover with a lot of these teams. UConn just had a really good year last year,
They
and they
did.
played some tough games. They beat Duke. They beat the ACC champion. They had some games that they won, and I was shocked when Jim Moore left UConn for Colorado State, to be honest, because I don't really think it's that upgrade of a move. I think it's a lateral move. And then obviously Jason Candle left Toledo and went to UConn.
Yeah.
I just think with the amount of talent that they're bringing in from UConn, I think it's a lot of players. We'll see. That's going to be it's going to be we're going to have to see with a lot of these teams. I mean, there's really no wrong answer. I just believe a little more in Colorado State than you do just because of what they did at UConn. They
Fair.
won a lot of really good games. They played a lot of, talented teams. But number 7, I have the Texas State Bobcats.
Okay.
Texas State, they went 7-6 last year in the Sun Belt. They're, obviously this is going to be their first year in the Pac-12. But they don't have a lot of talent that I think is going to translate to this league. They have talent in the Sun Belt. Don't really think they have the talent available to do much in the Pac-12 this year. The offense is going to be a problem. They don't have a lot of great offensive pieces. I think the defense will be decent.
They are
They
returning.
got
They're
Davian
returning.
Jackson
They
from Mississippi State.
they are returning
That's their top
2,000-yard
transfer.
receivers. They are returning 2,000-yard receivers
Yeah,
in Bo Sparks and Chris
and
Dillon
that's
Jr. and quarterback Brad
in the
Jackson's
Sun
back.
Belt.
The Sun Belt's probably better than
Yeah,
the
in the Sun
Pac-12.
Belt.
The Sun Belt, I would argue, is better than what this
And
conference is right now. Yeah,
no,
it is.
no,
Maybe not the
no,
top
it's not.
teams, but as an actual conference, yes, I fully believe the Sun Belt right now is one of the best
Um,
conferences outside of the Power Four, for sure. It is.
I think the Americans better. Um, I'll take Texas State at 7 though.
For me at 7, I will say this. I'm already higher on Texas State than you are because I believe in their coach at GJ Keen. I forget how you say his last name fully. Um, he's a guy who could get eventually a job at a much bigger program eventually. And I think Texas State, they've put a lot into that football program the last couple years, and you've seen it on the football field. And so I'm kind of sold on Texas State a little bit more heading into the Pac 12. Number 7 for me, who I also heavily debated in last place. And to be honest, my 5 through 8, I all kind of circled at number 8 at one point. And I just had to kind of come to a conclusion with them. Number 7, I have the Aggies of Utah State. And this is also one that I'm not too confident in either because Bronco Mendenhall has been a pretty decent coach at Utah State. It wasn't great last year for them, but I think in this new conference, new form Pac 12, there's other teams that I just currently like more than them. Now, I do think they might have one of the better receiving rooms in the entire conference. Brady Boyd, Eli Wood, transfer from Virginia, Javon Robinson coming from Georgia State, all guys who produced. I think this wide receiver room is going to be very fun to watch. They do have their starting quarterback announced. Originally started at Utah State, transferred to BYU, was in the running to be the starting quarterback at BYU after the Jake Retzloff situation happened last year, but they gave it to Bear Bachmeyer, and that is McKay Hillstead. McKay Hillstead will be the starting quarterback for Utah State. And how good will he really be? That's the question. We saw talent. He's touched the football field at BYU. He's gotten some time. So we will see if it translates in his second stint at Utah State, though.
At number 6, Utah State. Kind of basically for the same reason you just said. Don't really have to say much other than that.
Yeah, for sure.
I got the Aggies at 6. I think Bronco Mendenhall is a very good coach. I think he could get looks at other jobs. I know they went 6-7 last year. But with how much parity is in this league, I think that they can make a jump. I do like their transfer portal class, and with like I said, a lot of these teams are going to be competitive, if not all of them. So this is going to be a very good league. I mean, the winner of this league might be 9-3. I think that whoever wins this
Yes.
league will have a couple of losses just because of how much parity and how much talent overall is in this league. And I think that's going to be the fun part to watch out for.
It's also the fact that a
So
lot of
yeah,
these teams
Utah State.
have brutal out of conference schedules. Some of them have some rough ones.
No,
Like my
that's right.
number 6 team is Oregon State, who you have dead last. Their first 2 games of the year at Houston, who I've already been on here many a time saying I'm pretty high
You're
on.
on the Cougar train.
I am on the Cougar train, and then they host Texas Tech in Corvallis in week 2. So they already start the year off pretty rough there.
Ooh, that'll be a good game. That'll be a fun game. Maybe. Well, with the whole Brendan Sorsby situation, maybe now, but I don't know.
All this Brendan Sorsby
But
talk, man.
yeah,
All this Brendan Sorsby talk. But Oregon State at 6, I I do think eventually Atkinson will be quarterback 1 at some point in the season. I don't know if he'll start at quarterback 1.
hey, backup transfer to Toledo.
Should have.
Simple
Keyword.
as that. Come
Should have.
home. He should have just come home and to begin with.
Yes.
I will, but John Allen Richter.
It'll be
So
intriguing to see
that's
how
all right. He's
good
fine. He's fine.
it'll be intriguing to see how good Jamarcus Shepard ends up being at Oregon State. And honestly, both these Pac-2 teams, period, like with everything they had going on, both of them have new coaches coming in this year. Both Oregon State and Washington State. So, excuse me. It'll be intriguing to see what happens here in year 1. I like this tight end who's a transfer kid. His name's Eric Olson from Utah Tech. I think he might be one of the sneaky best tight ends in the G5 to watch out for. So keep that name circled, Eric Olson. Um, but I think it'll be a rough year, depending on how the season starts. If they are somewhat competitive against Houston and Texas Tech, I think Oregon State could be even higher than 6th. But depending on how the season starts for them, they have Montana after that. They play at UTEP. They start the conference slate at Colorado State. They play at Fresno State. They play at Boise State later on in the year. So Oregon State has it rough, which means everyone has it rough a little bit, even in the conference slate. Because I think this conference, when you just see the names of the teams that are playing each other, they're like all so comparable. And so it's really hard to gauge. But I've got Oregon State at 6. They could easily go 1-11. They could be the worst team in college football this year, but I'm believing in Oregon State a little bit more. I think Oregon State will be around the 5-7.
They are not.
They will be around the 5-7, 6-6 range, I think. And if Braden Atkinson plays as good as we think he can, and if he is the starting quarterback, that's gauging if he is the starting quarterback. I think Oregon State could be one of those sneaky teams in the top 4.
Yeah. At number 5, I have Colorado State. My main reasoning is I believe in Jim Mora a little bit more than you do. I put a lot into what he did at UConn and kind of building that just absolute dead dog beat program. And they went 10-3 because I think they won their bowl game, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they won 10 games. 10 games at UConn is might as well be a Super Bowl there. And Jim Mora kind of built that program up a little bit. They were really bad for a little while. And winning 10, getting 10 games, especially beating the ACC champion. The fact that Duke won the ACC is a joke. But they won it, and UConn beat them. So I believe in a lot more of Jim Mora and his players that he's bringing in than you do. I also think that Colorado State, Fort Collins is a beautiful place, and that stadium is really cool.
That might be
we're putting them at
Colorado State Stadium there in Fort Collins.
It's the best Group of 5 stadium.
Oh, it's 100% the best Group of 5 stadium, and it might be the prettiest period in the entire sport. If we could ever make it to Fort Collins, that would be one fun trip.
FBS, yes. FCS, I still got to give it to Montana. FCS, I still got to give it to the Montana Grizzlies because it's in the mountains and you see everything. But 100% Fort Collins, it's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Number 5 for me is the Cougars of Washington State. Kirby Moore coming in year 1 under him. And I will say there's a kid who I really like a lot. I really like who I expect to be their quarterback 1. Sounds like it will be. Caden Pinnock coming from UC Davis. He might be really fun to watch. And another guy I'm looking forward to, transfer portal guy, is Paul Hudson III from Marshall on the defensive line. I think he'll be a very, very good player as well. But it's really hard for me to try and put Washington State any higher than where I have them right now, because I just think that the other teams that I have ahead of them just have more consistency. They have players who are returning, who I like. They have a coaching staff who have proven it at their places. So Washington State, I have to keep a little bit lower than I wanted to.
All the reasons you said for them at 4 for me. Don't really have to say much. Jimmy Rogers took 15 players with him to Iowa State. And now you have, new coach Kirby Moore. But I do think Washington State is always one of those frisky teams. And with this new conference, I think that they're going to not win it, but I do believe in them making a bowl game, going like 7-5, 7-6 probably. But yeah.
Number 4, the Texas State Bobcats. All right. Much higher on them than you are. Like I said, love the coaching
Yes,
staff.
you are.
Love the coaching staff. And I love what they have returning offensively. I absolutely love it.
Absolutely love the coaching staff.
Now, the one question I really do have is this defensive line. It's pretty much a completely new defensive line. So much turnover there. A lot of transfers in, a lot of transfers out. So that's the
They
one
lost their
question that I
center
do have.
defense.
I do believe them being the one odd team geographically where they're not necessarily, like Colorado's still a little farther, but they're all connected. Colorado, Utah, obviously California and the West Coast there. They're in
Geography don't
Texas.
mean anything in conference.
It doesn't. I do believe they will have some home field advantage in Texas and San Marcos. I really do. I think that'll play a bit of a role, specifically year one, and with what they have roster wise on the offensive side of the ball. I think Texas State is a dark horse contender in the conference. Watch out for the Texas State Bobcats to potentially be the best team in the Pac 12. I won't say that they will be, but watch out.
All that disagreement, we still have the same top 3 teams at least.
It's what I said. I said we would eventually get here, and the top 3 might be the same. At least same teams,
Yeah,
anyway. What the order, though?
maybe.
What's the
At,
order?
at number 3, I have Fresno State. I have the Bulldogs
Okay.
at number 3. Matt Entz is their, coach. He's bringing. They have a good team. They went 9-4 last year, and Fresno, they have a really good defensive line, and that's going to be their main focal point on defense. And they also brought in a decent transfer portal class.
Yes.
They brought in is Croy Stewart, Croy, however you say his first name. It's Croix. I think it's Croy.
Probably.
But the safety from UCLA, and I just believe Fresno State with returning a lot of players from the team last year.
14.
That's going to translate into this. And
14
also,
players.
You'll notice with our teams in the top 3, they're returning a lot of their starters.
Yes, they are.
With one team, it's more offense than defense. One team, it's a good majority, and the other team, it's also a good majority. But returning starters is the way to win in the group of 5. So that's why I have Fresno State at 3. These 3, I know will probably end up having the same number 1. Wouldn't be shocked if any of these 3 won the conference. I wouldn't. So
I'm not confident we will, Spence, to be honest with you, that we're going to have the same number 1.
Ooh, okay.
I'm not that confident in it. Number 3 for me is the Aztecs of San Diego State. I have them at 3 because they did lose pieces. They lost Trey White to Texas Tech, the edge rusher. Chris Johnson to the NFL, the corner to the Dolphins. They have to replace some talent, but they are returning a good amount. Sean Lewis is a very good head coach. But their schedule
Everybody
to
on
start,
that offense.
Their offense is back. Yes, everyone on that offense has returned.
Like legitimately, I think they're almost their entire offense is coming back.
You
And their
are
offense
correct.
was really good.
You are correct. It's the defense that I have the questions on. They have some
Yep.
portal guys who I really like. Owen Chambliss from Nebraska is coming in. They have, hold on, I'm trying to look at my list here. They have Jalen Thompson from Ohio at corner. Jason Oliver from Sac State as corner as well. Dwayne McDougal from Nebraska.
It's a fun name.
Lucky Sutton's going to have to be a leader of that defense. He's
Lucky Sutton.
He was one of their leading tacklers last year. Pretty much they lost all of their top 5 leading tacklers or top 4 leading tacklers. Lucky Sutton was next on the list. This guy's going to have to be a leader. He's going to have to be a leader on this team here. And their schedule. Their schedule scares me to start the year. If they don't start hot, I think they could be, to me, if there's a team in the top 3 who is more susceptible to falling down this list much farther, it is San Diego State. And they tend to do this sometimes, where you have a lot of expectation for them, but they have a rough out of conference schedule. They don't start great, and then the rest of the year kind of crumbles with them. I think San Diego State has that potential. They play at UCLA week 2.
They play
at UCLA week 2. James Madison at home week 3. Week 4 at Toledo. They start off conference play with Texas State. And obviously they'll play everyone in the conference. So San Diego State, I like what they have coming in. They have to start hot. I think they have to win. I mean, we'll give them the UCLA loss, but I think they'll have to beat both James Madison and Toledo for me to believe that they'll go on a run in the Mountain West. Now, they could still finish top 3 in conference, but
I think they'll win one of these games. Same reasoning, I have San Diego State too. Like I said, their defense is going to be the biggest question mark because they lost a lot of talent on that defense, and there's going to be a lot of turnover. But the one thing I always believe in is having an elite offense. And this is what San Diego State's going to have. Their offense is going to be very, very good this year. And all you need is a couple stops because this offense is going to roll, and they might be the best offense in the Pac-12 this year with all their returning starters. I think I'm giving the edge to the other team that I'm about to name just because of their defense at number 1. But San Diego State's going to be number 2 for me. Basically, for the stuff that you just said, I completely believe in their offense. Their defense just scares me.
Number 2. Should I be cliche and just say Boise State is the number 1 team in the conference? No, I'm not. Because Boise State's going to be second, not first in the Pac-12. Now, it's Boise State. They're always going to be like a perennial top 3, top 4, regardless, almost every year. And always possibly number 1. The biggest question mark for me is how good is Maddox Madsen? Have we seen the best of him already? Is Maddox Madsen just he's a jag, as Steve Smith Sr. would say? Is he just a guy at quarterback? Can he take that next step? They have some questions on the offensive line. They're needing to replace their starting center from last year, their starting left tackle from last year. That scares me. That scares me. But yes, their defense is still very good. They have a lot of returning pieces defensively. But it's the offensive line that scares me. It's Maddox Madsen. How good can he really be? And it's also just belief in another program a little bit more.
That's fair.
Tell your mom I say hi, by the way. Tell your mom I say hi.
Logan says hi. I don't think she heard me. Anyway.
That's okay. Could definitely hear her.
Yeah. She's talking to some like the lawn guy or whatever.
Fire. Shout out the lawn guy. Shout out
Boise
Spencer's
State's
lawn
at
guy.
number. Boise State's at number 1 for me because this team just wins and wins and wins, and there's not really any explanation other than I think Maddox Madsen is a decent quarterback. They went 9-5 last year, and Maddox Madsen didn't have an amazing year.
Very valid.
They have a killer instinct all the time. This program just wins. No
They do.
matter who the quarterback is, who the running back is, receivers are, defenses, it doesn't matter. They just own whatever conference they're in. And that's not going to change in the Pac 12, in my opinion. I can see any of these three teams in the top three winning. I think those are the three that I would pick. Don't think anybody else really has a shot, in my opinion. Because I just think these three teams are in a tier on their own, but I'm picking Boise because they just win, and that's all they do. They always make the play when it's needed. They have a lot of returning starters to this team, and I know you have a question mark with the quarterback. I mean, he didn't have a great year last year. They won 9 games. So imagine what they're going to do when he goes back to after, he had a better year with Ashton Genty, which makes sense. But it's Smurf turf. It's Boise State. It's the tradition. It's the winning. People doubt them, and they just end up winning the conference. So give me the Broncos.
My number one team in the Pac 12, the Fresno State Bulldogs. 14 returning starters from last year's team. Of course, the real question is quarterback. EJ Warner is now gone. But they do bring in Christian Martin, former Maryland Terrapin. Not related to Justin Martin, although they got that question all the time when they were together at Maryland last season. He's a guy who I think is going to surprise a lot of people right away. He doesn't have a lot of experience yet because he was the backup last year at Maryland behind Malik Washington, but I do believe he is going to play very well in this conference, returning all of their top 3 running backs, Rayshawn Luke, Bryson Donaldson, Brandon Ramirez. All of those guys have returned for next season. Running back by committee, all 700, 600-yard rushers at their best. I think that the way this roster is stacked right now, I think that they will be the best team in the Pac 12. I think that they have the ability to go out there and win the Pac 12 in year one after going 9-4 last year in year one under Matt Entz. And I think that there's something about Fresno State coaches. There's something like they are always good. Fresno State is always good, no matter what. It feels like when you think of Boise State, like who's the next school you think of? Usually. For me, it's always Fresno State.
Oh yeah,
Like when
like
I'm
of like
thinking
out west schools, or like what?
when I'm thinking out west schools, best team, like okay, when we're talking Mountain West anyway. Now they're Pac-12. I used to always think Boise State. Next school, I always think of Fresno State because Fresno State has always been good. They've always been good. Like
Yep.
now they've had the down years every once in a while, a little bit more than Boise has per se, but they are always towards the top.
San Diego State too.
All 3 of them. All 3 of them are always
The
up there.
top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've
I
got.
also think of they're on the about Hawaii because you can't get more out west than that.
You literally can't. I mean, maybe if Guam got a conference, not conference, if they got a school in Guam, maybe we could have Hawaii versus Guam as like the greatest college football rivalry out west. That would be played at 2:30 a.m. Eastern time on like PBS Kids.
And you would watch it.
I would watch
Yep.
it. I would
And it
watch
would
it.
be watched.
It would be absolute cinema, as Michael Jackson would say. Um, So yeah, I got Fresno State ahead of the Boise State Broncos. They will win the Pac-12 this year. Okay, folks? Get ready for it. Get ready for it. And you know what else you got to be ready
College football
for?
playoff.
Honestly, when we get to the 64 team playoff, dude, I can't wait to watch.
I mean, everybody's going to make it.
I
I mean,
can't
you're going
wait
to have
to
a
watch.
7-5 team.
Somehow, all the Mountain West teams will randomly make it. You'll have a 1-11 Utah State, although they won't be that bad, but
be the 63 seed.
be the 63. Yeah, because why not? Why not, right? All right.
Just what we need. Just what we need.
I agree. It is what we need. We need, honestly, 138 teams in the playoff. I don't see why we haven't thought about this sooner. I don't understand
Yep.
why we don't just completely get rid of the regular season and just do imperialism. Shout out Bordeaux, where you just have the best team play the worst team and all the way down until no one loses, until the last team is standing with no losses.
There is not a single person that is in favor of more teams in the playoff, and there shouldn't be. They're probably I lied. There's probably a couple.
Well, yeah,
there's probably a
coaches
section of
are.
college football fans that are in favor of it. But it's an absolute joke.
Coaches are because they know
Nobody
they won't
wants
get
it.
fired. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing about it, right? In other sports, coaches get fired for not doing well in the playoffs all the time. So, are you
Some
really?
coaches get fired after winning Super Bowls. Look at Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl. I think it was like 2 years later, or 2 or 3 years later, he got fired. Doesn't mean a thing.
I mean, think about Ed Orgeron, already in college.
Yeah.
He got fired a year and a half
Now he's
after.
back at LSU.
Yes, he is. Yes. Honestly,
He's
he can't
back at
he
LSU
can't
as
be
a
anywhere else,
special
right?
assistant.
He can't be anywhere else.
He's the water boy or something.
He literally can't be anywhere else. That French Creole that he can speak, that nice
Well,
Cajun,
no one else would hire him.
he deserves to be there.
So
He deserves to be there. Just like everyone else
he
who's
can be the
watching
water boy.
this deserves to be a subscriber to this YouTube channel, and they should subscribe to the channel right now. And they should hit that push notification bell to stay up to date on all of our new videos. We appreciate the love and support, but 95% of you guys who watch our channel are not subscribed. And if you do hit the subscribe button, it benefits both of us here. It benefits you, the viewer, and it
Yep.
benefits us as well, allowing us to bring even more content your way. So please hit the subscribe button, okay? We greatly appreciate it.
100%.
Spencer, it's time to be bold. It's time to be fun. It's time to be extravagant because even more way too early rankings. Because why not? You're way too early. Top 10 teams in the NFL. Power ratings, if you will. We love power ratings here.
At number 10, I have the Baltimore Ravens.
What? Crazy.
Baltimore went 8-9 last year. They barely missed playoffs. They actually missed it because they missed right. Shout out Tyler Loop. But they improved the hell out of their edge position on that defensive line. And I believe that no matter if you have Lamar Jackson and you have Derrick Henry, you're going to be a good football team. So I know they had some issues last year. They hired Jesse Minter to be their head coach after that, the Michigan, tree of coaches. And I think he's going to be very good. That defense is going to be elite, especially with getting Trey Hendrickson. I know the whole thing that happened with Max Crosby is not great, but they also draft Zion Young. So they can have Zion Young and Trey Hendrickson on opposite ends, and I think that's going to be a very good edge duo.
They still
for a
have some
couple
young
years.
talent there with Matabuke as well. Mike Green, if he can,
Yep.
if he can be better than he was last year as a rookie. Yeah, Baltimore's still pretty good. I have them just outside. I don't have them in the top 10 myself, but I think they easily could make it there by the time the season does start. But right now, they're not in. Number 10 for me is the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo with Josh Allen, with James Cook, with the defense that they have. Now, I still think they need to get better at edge rusher. I do think they could still address the guard. What?
Buffalo at 10?
Buffalo at 10.
Wow. All right.
Buffalo at 10.
All right.
Are you saying that's too low?
The Browns are number 1. Let me tell you.
Are you saying that the Bills at 10 is too low?
Bills are a top 5 team in the NFL. What are you talking about?
I don't think the Bills are a top 5 team, but they're a top 10 team for sure.
Why? Tell me. Tell me why.
Have you seen the NFC West outside of Arizona? Have you seen some of the you also have to tip your cap a little bit to teams that did do it last year.
The 49ers are not better than the Bills.
Yes, they are.
The Rams and the Seahawks are. But the 49ers, no, they're not.
The 49ers are definitely better than the Bills. 100% better than the Bills.
Dude, I would take a team of Josh Allen and 10 homeless people over Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay,
who offensive line
quarterback-wise,
consists
yes.
of an old Trent Williams And then you have Mike Evans, who they just signed, who's going to get hurt by week 3.
Don't
And because
everyone
he's
gets hurt by
old.
week 3 and the
They don't have Brandon
49ers.
Ayuk
The
because nobody knows
49ers
what's
will
going on with Brandon
still
Ayuk.
the 49ers would still go
Christian
just
Kirk
as
is a
far as the
bum.
Bills.
Like,
Have we seen Josh Allen in playoffs? Okay, have we seen the Bills actually get over the hump there in the postseason? You're not wrong. Like Buffalo is still a very good team. There's a lot of good teams this year in the NFL. That's how it works, right? Um, I just can't put Buffalo
also, Christian
higher.
McCaffrey was healthy last year, means he's going to get hurt this year. So,
And the 49ers are still going to be better than the Bills.
you're crazy. You're crazy.
The 49ers right now, I
All
would say
right,
they're better
you
than the
say
Bills.
so.
Yes, they are.
All right. All right. At number 9, I have the Chicago Bears.
You're out of your mind.
The
You are delusional. You are delusional. They are a top 5 team in the NFL. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying that to play with you. Anyway.
My biggest concern with the Bears is going to be their defense. They did lose Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker, but they did bring in Kobe Bryant, and I think them getting Dylan Thieneman was actually it's unbelievable he fell to them at 25. That's just going to be an issue. Corner, obviously they're going to be getting Jalen Johnson back. Linebacker is going to be something I want to watch out for, but also
Shout
their
out Devin
defensive
Bush.
line really isn't that great. Their D line really isn't that great.
Their
I mean,
D-line
Grady
isn't
Jarrett was a bum. I mean, they're not. It's not great.
bad.
It's not horrendous, but it's not great. Montez Sweat is an elite number 2, and average to maybe a little bit below average number 1 option on the edge. They're not bad. I mean, it's not horrendous. It's just not a good defensive line. I am surprised they didn't address it the way the way they should have. Their offense, to me, is fine. They really, I mean, center with the whole issue that happened with that. Who'd they sign? It wasn't. Who'd they sign to be their center?
I'm blanking. I'll have to look.
I don't know.
I don't think
the Bears suck anyway.
Yeah, the Bears suck. How are they even in the top
10?
ten?
The Bears suck anyway, so it really doesn't matter. I do think that you're going to see some steps taken by Luther Burden.
Oh yeah, Bradbury
and Rome
Garrett
Odunze.
Bradbury.
Oh,
sorry to cut you off. They signed Bradbury and then they drafted Logan Jones from Iowa as well.
Okay, so they addressed the position. Not terrible. Their O-line should be decent again this year. Their running game, to me, I don't know if it's just because I'm a Lions fan. Like, DeAndre Swift is an average running back, but like he got hurt and he would make stupid plays, and I'm just waiting for that to happen with him. But they also have Kyle Monangai, who made some strides last year. The Bears are going to be a good team because I think Caleb Williams is ascending, and I think Caleb Williams is going to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, he had an unbelievable year last year. Him and Ben Johnson together, it's going to be a great future for the Bears. Their defense just worries me a little bit. And it's the fact that they just can't beat the Lions. So you hate to see it. Caleb Williams improved to 0-4 against the Detroit Lions last year, and he will improve to 0-6 at the end of this year. So, yeah.
Number 9 for me, the Dallas Cowboys. I believe in this offense. I believe in Dak Prescott. I believe in the fact that Pickens, I believe, will be back. There's not going to be any kind of trade or anything. He will play under the franchise tag. CeeDee Lamb, of course. I like what they're doing. I like Javonte Williams. And I think this defense has definitely improved. Adding Caleb Downs. We were just talking about Caleb Williams. Adding Malachi Lawrence. I think Jayshon Barham is going to be a very good edge rusher out of Michigan. A guy who I was pretty high on in the draft. I like that pick a lot. I think a sneaky good pick as well was the Devin Moore pick from Florida, the corner in the 4th round. I really like the moves that Dallas has made on this defensive side of the ball. This may be too early to say. If I had to place a bet right now on who would win the NFC East, it would be Dallas. I believe.
You sound just like a Cowboys fan.
I am not a Cowboys fan. I am not a Cowboys fan. This is just what it is. I really like where they're at right now as a team.
Your boys, it's our year. All right.
It's not their year,
No,
but I think
I agree with you.
I
think they improved. I do think they improved. I think that Dallas is going to be a good team this year. I just think Philly's better. And even though Philly's excruciating to watch, they just win.
That's fair.
except
That's 100% fair.
against the
I just
49ers.
have the doubts of
And
AJ
I
Brown
think there's gonna be
and
something to say about the Giants this year. I think the Giants, but then again, a lot of people expect the Giants to be better this year. I think the Giants are going to push for a wild card spot.
they could.
If Jackson Dart takes that step.
People are sleeping on the Commanders too.
But
Like, what if Daniels is healthy and they get their stuff figured out?
yeah,
I think that this division.
their defense scares me. Their defense scares me. I know they drafted Sonny Styles, but like, oh boy, I mean, they got some question marks there on that defense, especially that secondary. Although Mikey Sainer still has been pretty good, he's just been injured. But yeah, that division's going to be really good. The NFC in itself, I mean,
If I could have put
you
the
are
top
loaded with
10,
talent in the NFC.
I realistically could have put the top 10 teams and they were all NFC if I really wanted to, but I didn't. I really thought about it. But genuinely, the NFC is very, very deep.
Real football's played in the NFC, let me tell you. And this team at number 8 is going to win the NFC this year. That is America's team. That is this team that is above my head with the flag.
Wow.
The Detroit Lions are the 8th best team in the NFL.
How
And
are
I know,
they going to win?
yeah,
How are
they
they
used
going to
to be
win the
number 5 and
NFC?
number 4.
Hold on. How are they going to win the NFC if they're the 8th best team?
Because this is going into the year. This is
Stop.
going into the year. They're not the best team
You're
going into the year, but
Talk
at the
about
end of the year, they
delusion.
will be. No.
How are the Lions a
Because
top 10 team?
no.
Please, hold on, Spencer. Please tell me how the Lions are a top 10 team. Please. Tell me.
Okay.
I need to
So
know.
their offensive weapons, they have arguably one of the best rosters in football. When healthy.
Do they?
Think about it.
Do they?
Offensive weapons, they have a trio of young top receiver of Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who are Amon-Ra is one of the best. Here's the balloons again. I don't know what the heck.
It's the Lions. We're celebrating the
happened last
Detroit
week.
Lions here with the balloons.
Amon-Ra is a top 5 receiver in the NFL. Jameson Williams is one of the best wide receiver 2s in the NFL. Sam Laporta, when healthy, is a top 5 tight end. He's very good at blocking as well.
I can't wait to watch him get
one of the best
eventually.
running backs in the NFL. All right, calm down. Jared Goff, you can say what you want. He's a above average to great quarterback.
Statistically, he's the best quarterback in the NFL the last
and they
decade.
improved the offensive line. They drafted Blake Miller, right tackle. They're going to have Panay at left.
The All-Pro
they
and
added
Juice
a
Scruggs.
center that I actually can care about.
The All-Pro and Juice
Scruggs, bro. Stop with Juice Scruggs.
The All-Pro Juice Scruggs. I can't wait. Oh, the Lions. But also, I will say this: a 4th place schedule definitely helps you out.
That's another reason why they don't play a whole lot of great teams.
Yeah, they play a lot
other
of
than their
Cleveland
division,
Browns.
And they have a couple of them as well. Yeah, that's fair. And their defense. I mean, the defensive line is still. I mean, they need to improve. Aleem McNeil has to go back to what he was, a couple years ago, as that All-Pro level D tackle. I expect Tyleik Williams to make a jump. Aiden Hutchinson's going to be Aiden Hutchinson. And they still got to figure out the other edge spot. That's going to be the biggest thing. Corner is also going to be an issue. Terrion Arnold, this is his year to step up, or he's gone. He doesn't step up after the end of this year. They need to go in a different direction, and DJ Reed needs to have a better year. Safeties, I don't have an issue when they're healthy. If Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are healthy, that's true. That's 2 Pro Bowl safeties. Don't really need to say much other than that. And then at linebacker, you have one of the best on-ball linebackers in the league in Jack Campbell. You have Derek Barnes, who is a solid linebacker.
Please.
I mean, please. What do you mean, please?
Please? Give me a break.
Really?
Give me a break on the Detroit Lions.
Buddy, he leads the team in tackles.
Give me a break.
He is the green dot linebacker that they drafted. What the heck do you mean?
I'm pulling your strings, buddy. It's all right.
Stop.
Pulling your strings here.
Roster-wise, yeah. They have one of the best teams in football. Roster-wise. But coaching's going to be an issue. How is Drew Petzing, who Cardinals fans don't really care for, going to alter into this offense?
See, I'm so glad y'all decided. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm so glad y'all decided that the best thing for your coaching staff was just get bald guys. Just get bald guys, and it's all going to work out. I love the thought process there, And so I do think that actually has to make my Lions number jump a little bit higher. So I actually think that itself makes me jump higher on them on my list. There we go.
Lions of the Bowl, baby. We're winning the Super Bowl this year.
No follicles.
It's happening.
Some would
We're
say
gonna be
no. Some
celebrating.
would say no F's given, no follicles given. Okay. Number 8 for me is the Chicago Bears. Basically for the same reasons why you said the Bears there at number 9 for you. So, yeah. Shout out the Bears. Now, I do think
Bear down, Chicago Bears.
Chicago could take a serious jump forward too, though, this year. I think that Chicago could be a legit Super Bowl contender, but we'll have to see with that defense. If that defensive line could be any better. And like you said, they didn't necessarily address it all too much this offseason, which I think they'll need to, specifically on the interior of that defensive line. I don't think they need another defensive tackle for sure. Now, I'm glad that will Devin Bush be the same that he was in Cleveland? Because outside of Cleveland, Devin Bush hasn't done much in the NFL. And they gave him 3 years,
I don't
$30
know.
million. It'll be
I think that
intriguing
had
to
to do a
see.
little bit more with Schwartz than it did with anything. But we'll see.
Their defense definitely makes me want to pause a little bit, but that offense is still night and day. And I think Luther Burden's going to be in for an amazing breakout season in year 2. Him with Adunze, I really love. And I know what you said about their running game. I think their running game is going to get even better. I think Swift with Manungai is a very, very good 1-2 punch.
Mid players. All right, at number 7, I have the Houston Texans. Houston's defense last year, I mean, nobody could score on this team. That they were unbelievably good. And I believe they got better in the offseason. I think that adding Caden McDonald on that interior with those 2 edge rushers,
nasty.
This team's going to be a force. And a little bit of this has to do with hope. I hope CJ Stroud is not as bad as he was last year, because I saw this dude his rookie year, how good he was, how methodical he was moving the football. He was awful last year. He was really, really bad last year.
It was rough.
And I just have a little more. I just have to have some belief that he is somewhat goes back to his rookie year, because if he can, this team is going to be really, really, really good.
Yes.
The like top seed in the AFC may be good, because this defense is going to be elite. The defense I don't have to worry about. I know how good and how absolutely rambunctious that defensive line is.
Is it too early to say this?
The secondary is very, very good.
I'm going to throw this out there. Is this almost too early to say that this might be the best defense we've seen since the Legion of Boom? Is it too early to say?
I don't know. That 2018 Bears defense still haunts me.
That's fair.
I'm having to play them twice.
That's fair.
But they're up there. No, I completely agree with you. This Texans defense is unbelievably generationally good. Like, we don't see these types of defenses, especially. I mean, that D line against Buffalo, dude. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Disgusting.
Josh Allen had like less than 2 seconds to throw the ball before his face was on the ground. It was unbelievable. And I mean, Will Anderson is just shaping up to be an absolute beast. So they're number 7. If their offense was good, man, they would be a top 3 team in the NFL. I fully believe that. They would be the best team in the AFC if CJ Stroud took a step forward and was really good.
Yeah, no,
because
I fully agree.
They have pieces on the offense. I would like to see more on the offensive line a little bit. Their running game, they added David Montgomery, which Demo, I'll love him to death. I hope he does good there. Come on, CJ. Like, you got to be better than this. He was supposed to be the guy that ended the Ohio State quarterbacks narrative, and he's bringing it back, man. He's bringing it back.
Well, he is bringing it back.
So please take a step.
I will say, so I didn't put Houston in my top 10. Houston's not in there for me. And it's only because of that offense and the question marks there was CJ Stroud. Had you
Yeah.
know, I was the one on the Houston bandwagon when it came to the postseason because I thought that defense would carry them to a Super Bowl appearance at least. Um, CJ Stroud, if he is like even 20% better than what he was last year, this team would be a top 10 team, borderline top
Dude, that
5 for me.
playoff game was so bad to watch.
It was
That game against Houston, or not Houston, against New England. Oh my gosh.
it,
That
it
was
was so
so
brutal.
bad.
Houston I have just outside. Houston I have at number 12. They're just outside at number 12.
Okay.
But that offense, if CJ Stroud can be better, really he's never been the same quarterback when Tank Dell is not on the field. That's his issue.
Yeah.
And if Tank Dell can come in and actually get the ball rolling again, I think it could help out with CJ Stroud. Um, I think this year's Houston's real time. They might be one of the teams under the most pressure, in my opinion, because of CJ Stroud. He might individually have the most pressure on him out of anyone in the
Mm-hmm.
NFL this season. So I think that Houston, I do like them a lot. I just couldn't put them in the top 10 right now. I think that can change 100%. At number 7 for me, it is the Detroit Lions. Look at me being higher on your team than even you are. That's kind of insane. The Detroit
Whoa,
Lions
whoa,
at
whoa!
number
Why,
7.
why the Lions in your top 10, Logan?
The Lions are in my top 10 because that roster is very good, like you said. Man, Jameer Gibbs, Isaiah Pacheco, who's even better than him. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to say that. Um, Jack Campbell, one of the worst
This Brock
linebackers
so
I've
much
ever
damn
seen.
money, dude.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's not fast at all, but he's sort of good, I guess.
He isn't. He's not that
Jared
fast. I
Goff
will agree
is
with you
the
on that.
worst quarterback under pressure.
Yeah.
But
That's why. Yeah.
when he doesn't have any pressure in his face, there's literally not a quarterback that's ever been better.
Nope.
So, but I trust the coaching staff. I do. I really like I said, the no follicles league. The no follicles league. I really love what's going on in Detroit, up there in Allen Park, Michigan.
It's just the offensive coordinator. Calm down. Kelvin Shepard has dreads, okay, and Dan Campbell has some little
You
spikes up
hired
there.
another coach as well that had no follicles. I forget what position coach he is. I thought there was another one. Someone out there, comment below who's the other coach who has no follicles, because I know there's another coach with no follicles up there in Detroit. But the last place schedule, I think,
Oh.
really benefits Detroit a lot this year as well. And I think Detroit will probably battle for the 1 seed in the NFC. I don't know if they will be the 1 seed, but they'll battle up there for the 1 seed. I fully believe in it. When we get to our season preview for divisions, we'll break it down a little bit more that way. But I think Detroit will be one of those teams to watch.
At number 6, I have a team that is going to finish second in the NFC North, and that is the Green Bay Packers.
Ooh, okay.
And while they yeah, you're Spencer. Why are they above the number 1 team in the NFC North? You say, and I say because this team is the devil, and they won't go away. But the Lions are going to beat them because I am delusional. Green
At
Bay,
least you know it.
obviously, the whole thing that just came up with Josh Jacobs. I'm going to go off the fact that he is going to play football, because. But what happened was not great. What he did was not great. But I'm going to go off the fact that he will be playing football for the Packers this year. Will he be suspended? I don't know. But I mean, Micah Parsons is going to be back. I mean, you're going to get Tucker Kraft back. Jaden Reed, I expect to take a somewhat leap, or Matthew Golden. I mean, they need one of these receivers to stop being a wide receiver too, and
I
to
think
actually
Matthew
step up and
Golden
be a
will
wide
be wide
receiver.
receiver 1. I think we're in for a big
Um,
time Matthew Golden season. 100%.
yeah, and I think that with Green Bay, they you know they cut Nate Hobbs after his 4-year deal because of how bad he was. But they
Yes.
did draft Brandon Cease, the South Carolina cornerback. And Keyshawn Nixon will step in there. They have Carrington Valentine. Um, the Packers are going to be good again, and the NFC North is going to be good again. I don't really have anything else to say about that. I mean, Jordan Love is going to be Jordan Love. Will he ever make it past the divisional round? Who knows? But for right now, I have the Packers at number 6.
Another team who's not in my top 10 is the Green Bay Packers. They happen to be number 11, just outside.
I have 2 teams that are going to shock the hell out of you that are not in my top 10.
Well, I have.
San Francisco
Okay.
is not in my top 10. And New England. New England's not in my top 10.
Okay. Intriguing. That is very intriguing. Interessante. Number 6 for me is the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix coming off his injury scares me. Davis Webb taking over play calling from Sean Payton also does scare me. If there is a team who I see in the top 10 that I currently have, who I feel like is possible to not be in there by the time we get to like week 6, could be the Broncos. However, I still love this defense. This defense is so chef's kiss. Even though they did lose JFM, John Franklin Myers, to the Titans this offseason, I do think that could hurt them. But you still have the best cover corner in the league in Pat Surtain II. You have one of the better linebacker duos out there as well for them in Denver. And they added Jalen Waddle offensively, so maybe that could help them out at wide receiver. I think Troy Franklin could be a guy to really step up in year 2 for him. The other kid as well from Illinois, Pat Bryant, I think he could become something for them. I do have questions, though. They do kind of scare me. I'm not going to lie. They do kind of scare me. But if Bo Nix is healthy and he's played the same way that we've seen so far in his career, I think Denver will be just fine.
Fair. At number 5, I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Boo!
Philly in themselves might have the second best roster in the NFL. Number 1 is a team that will be up there even higher. But the biggest question mark for the Eagles, obviously, the whole AJ Brown situation that's going on. But man, their defense and their offense were just. It seemed they were out of sync last year. And I'm going to go based off the fact that the Eagles are going to go back to 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl, and they're going to lock back in. But the Eagles in themselves have one of the best rosters in the NFL. Jalen Hurts, you can, say what you want about him. He wins games. Is he a game manager? Absolutely he is.
Yes,
But
he
he wins
is.
games.
He is the
And
most
this
game manager of
has
all game managers.
he's a mobile game manager
Yes, he
at
is.
it.
He is very mobile.
But yeah, Philly number 5. I don't really think I have to explain myself too much. The roster, the players, the coaching staff, just very good overall. They just had a really off year last year, but they still won the division last year. And I think they end up doing it again this year. So give me Philly at 5.
The Philadelphia Eagles, for me, are not in my top 10. And now I know what you're going to say.
Whoa!
I know what you're going to say.
Whoa!
Why is that?
You got Dallas over Philly. Wow.
I do have Dallas over Philly. Philadelphia.
Your dad is rubbing off on you.
He is not rubbing off on me. He is not. This is not my dad. And his best friend is ironically an Eagles fan. I have so much questions about Philadelphia. And it's not defense, that's for sure. It's offense. It's what's going to happen with AJ Brown. Obviously, he probably won't be there to start the year eventually. That will happen. It just feels like. And Jalen Hurts, how good is he really? Who's going to be the guys to step up on the outside with Devontae Smith? How good will Mekhi Lemon be as a rookie? How good will Eli Stowers be as a rookie? Obviously, they still have Dallas Goedert and everything. I just don't like the way the season ended last year. Like, it was not pretty. It was not pretty, and I don't know how much it'll change heading into this year. Now, I do trust Howie Roseman maybe more than any general manager in the NFL. I think he's the best in the business right now. I think the way this organization runs, probably the best in the business right now. Them and the Rams, I would say, are the two that run better than anybody. So, it's hard. It's hard because I think Some other teams right now are catching up a little bit. And I think Philly's under a lot of pressure next year. We'll see. Number 5 for me is the 49ers. San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan, Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle. This offensive line. I know what you're going to say, and I know how you feel about the 49ers. It's San Francisco, baby. It don't matter who's out there. You could have plumbers play for them, and they're still going to find a way to make it to the NFC divisional round. They either make the playoffs or they go 5-12. So it just kind of depends. I really like San Francisco. I love the 49ers and what they've done this offseason. That's just me. So they're number 5.
No. All right, number 4. They play. What is it? What's the facility that the practice field is next to? Is it like a power plant?
It's not a power plant. It's
They
like an
pay.
electric.
Or what is it?
It's like an electrical hub of a bunch of.
Yeah, we they ain't winning anything with an electric hub or whatever it is over there. Christian McCaffrey's that entire team. If he ever goes down, the entire team shuts down.
Stop.
And it's the fact that he was completely healthy last year. That means that he's not going to be healthy this year. Also, I mean, all these George Kittle, old. Mike Evans is like, it might as well be in crutches. And Christian McCaffrey can only take so much. I think Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. I think he's given a lot more, crap than he should. Especially for being Mr. Irrelevant in a draft. That's actually unbelievable if you really think about it. But no, their defense has a lot of holes. Nick Bosa, is he going to be good coming back from a significant leg injury? Fred Warner is pushing 30. Their safety duo, their safeties, they have a lot of question marks on that defense, man. But
now
we'll see.
I'll say this.
Number 4, another.
Sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I think the 49ers drafted a lot better than people want to say, too. I know that a lot of people question their draft class. I think it's pretty good. I know people question the Stribling pick at 33 because some people just didn't know about him too much and didn't see that he would go as early as he did. He's a very good wide receiver. I still question it a little bit. I think there are better receivers there for them to take, of course, but Romelo Height from Texas Tech, very good edge rusher. I know that he maybe benefited, some might say, from David Bailey, but you could argue the same for David Bailey with Romelo Height. He is shorter and not as long as Bailey, so obviously that was a point of contentiousness with this draft class in particular. But I really like Kalen Black from Indiana. He was my diamond in the rough prospect, and everyone's clowning him on that pick. That was around the range he should have gone, was the late 3rd, early 4th, and that's where they got him. And of course, I still think there were some decent picks after that as well. So I think San Francisco did better this offseason than people think in fixing this and adjusting this roster around.
Yeah. Okay. Number 4, I have another team that has question marks with their defense, but I trust their offense a lot more. It's the Buffalo Bills. I trust Josh Allen in the regular season.
Too high. Way too high.
A lot. Josh Allen is going to always have the Bills in good spots. James Cook is a very good running back. Their offensive line is average with Deion Dawkins. Their wide receiver core still, I mean, they need somebody to step up and really take that, wide receiver 1 spot. But they still have Dalton Kincaid.
Skylar Bell is going to do it. I don't care what anyone says. Skylar Bell is going to be the wide receiver 1 of the Buffalo Bills.
And their defense is going to have issues. That's the main thing. Their defense has question marks. I just trust Josh Allen to will this team to 11, 12 wins every single year. They win. They seem to go 11-6, 12-5 every year with Josh Allen, and they seem to always be in the fight. Will they win the AFC? No. But I always give them the chance because Josh Allen is just an unbelievable quarterback, and he's 30. Josh Allen's 30. I saw that on his birthday. I don't know when it was. It was like a week or so ago. He said, "Happy
Mhm.
birthday, Josh Allen! I'm turning 30." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" I remember when this dude got drafted.
Unk.
But yeah, I got the Bills at 4.
Number 4 for me is the New England Patriots. Now, I do think if I had to pick right now, I do think Buffalo realistically would end up winning the division. It's more so tipping the cap to New England, giving them a little bit of the respect that they deserve for making the Super Bowl. You have to.
Yeah, it had a tough schedule to do
They really did. They had a very rough schedule, but I think Drake
it.
May,
They
Drake
had a
May
really rough schedule,
Drake
man.
May is going to be just fine. I do think the Patriots will have a little bit of a fall off this year. I don't think it's going to be drastic or anything like that. But you still have to give them the respect that they deserve because the defense is still very good. You know, they're not getting into trouble off the field with anything extracurricular like their head coaches, maybe the defensive players aren't. But their defense is still very good. Now, maybe I'm thinking that the eventual thing of who knows, maybe what the reporter said could eventually happen here. AJ Brown might be a Patriot wide receiver after all. But they got Romeo Dobbs. They added him to their wide receiver room, who is very good. He's not
Fine
great.
enough.
He's very good. He's fine enough. He does the job. I think
Very good.
I think Henderson slash Stevenson will specifically Henderson will take a step forward next year in the running game. I like New England. I still like them. I just I do question if they'll win the AFC East this year. I would probably give the nod to Buffalo, but I just can't put Buffalo ahead of them to start the year. I just can't. I have to see Buffalo do it.
That's fair. All right, at number 3, I have the Denver Broncos. Um,
Okay.
Denver's defense is up there. They have one of the best defenses in the league. Um, Bo Nix really took a step last year, and the Broncos would have won the AFC and went to the Super Bowl if Bo Nix did not get hurt. I really like what this offense has in terms of pieces. They're not great, but they have a solid foundation around Bo Nix. But their main thing is their defense, and I think that's going to be their backbone of the season. And I think Denver's going to win the AFC West. So give me the Broncos at number 3.
Okay. I already know you're gonna get a reaction out of you with this one at number 3. I already know that you're gonna be like, "What?" But hear me out, and I am fully bought into this one. Now, I'm assuming our top 2 are the same right
The
now.
New Orleans Saints at number
It's
3.
not the Saints at 3. The number 3 team for me, way too early power ratings, top 10 NFL team. I have the Los Angeles Chargers at number 3. I really love what is
Wow.
going on with this team right
Jeez.
now. Now, obviously, they have to be healthy. If they can be healthy,
You're just going to have a boner for the Chargers every year. You
I
said the
yes,
same thing last year.
I didn't put them in the top
You're just going to
3.
have a boner for Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers every single year.
You know, if they were healthy, they were winning that division, dude. Like they were 100% going to win that division.
No,
If they
no,
didn't lose Slater, if they
no.
didn't lose all, this
Dog,
team
Justin
wins the
Herbert doesn't win big
division.
games. What do you mean? Justin
He
Herbert does
won a
not
big game
win
to
big
start the
games.
year
What
in
are we?
Sao
He is
Paulo.
the AFC Jordan Love. Justin Herbert is just AFC Jordan Love. That's all it is.
What they've done this
They have a good
offseason,
team.
what they've done this offseason, I love. I just love. I love everything they've done.
Sure.
Not a
Why
single
not?
miss.
Why
Not a
not?
single miss.
Why
I
not?
think this year is the year for the
Okay.
Chargers to actually fulfill the prophecy I put on them last year. I was never late. I was just early. Okay?
Sure.
Just early.
Well, so much for me making that vet appointment.
And
All right. Number two. Number two, I have the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. Spencer, why do you have the team who just won the Super Bowl at number 2? That's a great question. Um, Seattle did lose a good amount of their talent this offseason. They lost Kenneth Walker, who won Super Bowl MVP. Um, they lost their safeties. They lost and Kobe Bryant
yep.
and was it Tariq
Tariq
Woolen?
Woolen in
Yeah.
Philly. Yeah.
Um, Like they lost pieces, and while Seattle's still going to be good, dude, Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl as a quarterback, and I still
It's still
Sam
wild
Darnold won a
to
Super
think of.
Bowl,
Yeah.
and I still like it's like Indiana winning the college football playoff champ, like when they won the national championship this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, but they're still Indiana. Oh wait, they won the title. Yeah, I don't know. It's Sam Darnold, but I give Darnold a lot more credit because of what he's done there. Um, Sam Darnold did not have like a top quarterback year in Seattle last year. He was good. He was above average, but was he like an MVP level candidate at any point in the season? No. But he didn't have to be. Seattle had a great roster. My biggest reason for them being number 2 is I just think the number 1 team has a perfect roster. I don't think they have a singular hole on their team. And I think Seattle very little just with the safeties. But I do think that who's the safety from South Carolina that draft Nick
Jalen
Montewarrier.
Not hold on. Was it Kilgore? Or well, Eamon that they
No,
have.
Imanwari, yeah,
Eamon Worry.
he's gonna
I
step
thought
in
you were
and
thinking
really
for
fill
like
that
this year's
spot.
draft. My bad. Yeah.
No, Nick Imanwari, however you say his last
He's
name.
already one of the best
I
safeties
think
in the
he's gonna
league
step.
after 1
Yeah, and
year.
I think he's going to step in there. He's going to take one of the spots, and they'll be good. And Mike McDonald, great head coach, great defensive-minded head coach from Michigan. And yeah, Seattle's going to be very good. The number 1 and the number 2 team, it's not far off. I just think number 1 is a perfect roster. Seattle, I think, has very little holes, and I have a couple question marks with Seattle, and that's it. But they won the Super Bowl, so who cares? Like, you just won the Super Bowl. So yeah, that's why I have a number 2.
Number 2 for me, same team, the Seattle Seahawks. It's for the same reasons.
Yeah, we're
You
gonna have the
have
same number
to
1 and
you
number 2.
have
Yeah.
to give them the homage of winning a Super Bowl. They do have question marks. Obviously, they drafted Jadarian Price to pair with Charbonnet because of losing K9. You do lose
That'll be fun.
pieces in the
That'll be interesting.
secondary.
Yeah.
I do think they will have they won't be as good next year. They just won't. I don't think so.
No.
But you still have to
No.
give them the benefit of the doubt with how everything went last year. I still think this defense is going to
Yep.
be very good with Mike McDonald and everything, but time will tell how good they really will be next year. And I think we can do a little countdown. 3, 2, 1. Rams.
The LA Rams. Yeah. This team doesn't have a singular hole. If you want to be super duper duper nitpicky, it would be the interior of their O line. But even then,
Probably.
their O line
Yeah.
is really good, and their corner duo is in Jalen. I mean, they just said, you know what, Kansas City, gimme, just gimme. They just took Kansas City's corners. Their defense is going to be phenomenal. That defensive line is phenomenal. Their offense, led by MVP Matthew Stafford, going to be
Some would say the
really good.
greatest quarterback of
Hopefully,
all time, specifically his LA years. But
okay. You know what? I'll say this. I do have one question mark for the Rams. It would be their wide receiver duo, and not because I think they're bad. Is Devontae Adams going to take any step back because he is getting older? Is he? Father Time is undefeated, and with everything that has happened with Puka Nacua this offseason, I mean, this dude is everywhere. He has some issues he's got to figure out. Is that going to affect him on the football field at all?
right.
Because when he's on the football field, he might be the best receiver in the game. But is there going to be any drawback in that? That would be my only question mark for this Rams team because their roster is perfect. I don't think there's any holes on this team. They are the best team in the NFL, and I would be shocked if they don't win the Super Bowl. I can say what I want about the Lions winning the Super Bowl. I'd be shocked if the Rams don't do it this year with how good this team is.
I agree. I think the Rams should win the Super Bowl this year, and I was maybe a year off on the Rams. But yet again, never late, just early.
Just a
But
year late.
just a year early. The Rams, you're so right, though. Like, this roster is the best. It's clear cut the best in the NFL. Sean McVay is clear cut the best coach currently in the NFL.
Yep.
Les Snead is one of the best general managers.
Any coaching any questions with the coaching staff with losing what's it, a LaFleur to
Michael LaFleur to
Arizona?
Arizona, yeah.
I don't think so, just because I think
I think
you
Shieldhouse is
got
going to be fine.
you,
Nate Shieldhouse is
yeah.
going to be fine. A guy who
He was getting coaching interviews. I remember you wanted him to be the Browns coach at one point.
it was him or
Or you
Todd
thought he
Monken.
was going to be.
It was him or Todd Monken for
Yeah.
Cleveland. Like everyone knew that. It was in between him and Monken for that job. So Shieldhouse will be a head coach eventually. I just miss watching him in this helmet right here. You can't see it, but I'm holding a little Illinois helmet right now. This exact helmet he would have wore as their quarterback. Old school, if you know, you know. Shout out Nathan Shieldhouse. But you're so right with the Rams. This everything is completely lined up for them to go 17-0 and well, not really that, but go and win the Super Bowl. It just is.
Tough schedule. I mean, it's not going to be easy.
The NFC West period
they
outside
have
of the
some
Cardinals
tough games.
won't be easy, but
yeah,
you kind of get that when
you have
you're
the best teams, and you legitimately have the best teams in the NFL in the Rams and the Seahawks, and then you might have the worst team in the NFL in the Cardinals.
Well, you have I have Rams, Seahawks, and I have
if not bottom two.
Hold on, I have 3 NFC West teams in the top 5, and then the Cardinals. Probably, if I had to bet, at 32.
32
right now. Yeah. So that division is completely loaded. I think now there's some other teams that aren't in this list. Some teams who I think can make this list before the season starts. There's 3 teams that come to mind.
I just realized neither of us had or you didn't have the Packers in your top 10, did you?
I did not. I had the Packers at 11.
You mentioned that.
Packers at 11. I didn't have Philly. Yep. I didn't have Houston, and I didn't have Baltimore. You and I had a little bit difference there, but ironically, all 3 of those, because I had my top 15 written down. I had my 5 just outside. Green Bay at 11, Houston 12, Baltimore 13, Philly 14, 15. I'll save silent because you're gonna make fun of me. Because it's the Saints, but I am very high on New Orleans, okay? I'm not saying New Orleans is going to make the top 10 on this list, but I love them a lot. I love the Saints a lot, and I don't care what anyone says. The Saints are going to be that good
Jacksonville?
This year. Yes.
Yes. You are giving a little more hate to Jacksonville than I think is warranted. I still think the Jags are a good NFL team.
I didn't even say Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati could be up here. I think the Bengals 100%.
Cincinnati has too many holes. Cincinnati has way too many holes. They have star power, but
I think that Mafe,
but like
their
defense is still not going to be that great. Their D-line got better, but they added by subtracting. They subtracted Trey Hendrickson and they gained Dexter Lawrence. So did they really improve all that much on that D-line? The running, stopping the run might be better, but like you're not going to get the sacks from Dexter Lawrence.
No, you're not. I think you'll get them from Mafe, maybe.
Exactly. Like the offense is going to be good because that's their whole memo.
As long as
Just
Joe
score
Burrow
50 points, give up 55.
As long as Joe Burrow is alive by week 7, I think they'll have a fighting chance. But
he's going to be Andrew Luck. He's going to turn to Andrew Luck.
One more team to say who I think could be in the top 10, but before the season starts. I shouldn't say this because I wouldn't put them there. I just don't understand why there's so much love for this team, and I think you and I probably agree. Why is there a lot of Vikings love right now? I've noticed that. And a lot of media there's a lot of Vikings love because of Kyler Murray. I've seen so much people out there saying the Vikings are going to be one of the better teams in the NFC North. And I'm not sold on it. Are people forgetting that they had to release both their starting D tackles? Now, I will say this. I think Caleb Banks, when it's all said and done, could eventually pan out to be something very good and not a reach. It felt like a reach on draft night. He could be the best defensive tackle because of his pass rush ability compared to anybody else in this draft. We will have to see if that pans out. But there's a lot of question marks. Their salary cap situation sucks.
No.
I don't understand the hype around the
Minnesota. My whole thing with the Vikings is the whole thing with the Vikings is they have a very good roster. Their roster has never been the issue, but now you lost Harrison Smith. You got rid of Jonathan Grenard. you have guys who are getting older on that defense, and your offense still has pieces. I mean, your running game with Aaron Jones is still getting older. And your offensive line they have a really good offensive line when healthy. The problem is they're never healthy. And the biggest problem has been quarterback for, ever since Sam Darnold left. Last year, it was JJ McCarthy just cannot throw a football unless he's playing the Detroit Lions in Michigan. Then he turns into prime Tom Brady. And then they just had and then their quarterback situation was horrendous. And that's been known for a while. Even when they had Sam Darnold, even before he got good, it's like, okay, now you're having Sam Darnold. And it worked out because Kevin O'Connell is one of the best quarterback coaches in the league, if not the best. But this is like, I feel like this has got to be the year for JJ to figure it out. They're like, I know Kyler Murray is I don't want to even say it. He can be an average quarterback in that system just because of how many weapons are around him, and it's the perfect setup for a quarterback.
He's going to be the starter.
Everything. You have an above average defense and you have an above average offense. It's just quarterback is a joke. And if he can be anything like what he was in his early days in Arizona, yeah, I think they could make a run at maybe a wild card, but they're not a top 10 team.
Yeah, Murray's going to start.
Kyler Murray was released for a reason. Yes. And I mean, you got to start looking at JJ like, hey, like you got to figure it out, McSizzle, or 9's got to come out at some point. So
I believe in number
whenever
9,
that is, we'll see.
I'm a JJ McCarthy believer. It might be on his 7th or 9th team that he plays for when it finally happens, like it's Geno Smith, or Sam Darnold for that matter. But I'm a 9 believer, okay? I know that he can't throw an out route to save his life, but golly, there's talent there, okay? There's something there. If it's just untapped.
There's talent in handing the ball off.
There's talent at throwing the ball 16 times a game in college. I promise.
Honestly, I think the Vikings should just trade with the Rams for Blake Corum. And then once Corum goes to Minnesota, I think something will unlock inside JJ. Like, all right, here's the ball, and he's back. And then the real JJ McCarthy's back.
Oh, he'll go 12 for 16 for 148 and 2 touchdown passes, no picks every game. Every game. But he'll have like 6 rushing yards or 6 rushing attempts for like 42 rushing yards and a touchdown every game too.
Yep.
And Blake Corum's going to have 28 carries for 172 yards and 4 touchdowns, and all of those touchdowns will be 1 yard.
There somewhere. Just keep it up. Cornelius Johnson is down there, and Roman Wilson. Just go get your guys, honestly. But
they should draft Andrew Marsh when he comes out from Michigan. That might help him out eventually. That dude is tough, though. I can't act like he's not. Andrew Marsh should be anywhere but Michigan if he wants to be a successful wide receiver. We're getting a little bit off track here, and you have to take your dog to the vet, but while you're at it, Spence, and while everyone else is at it, your dog should subscribe to the YouTube channel. Your dog should subscribe to the YouTube channel, and everyone else should subscribe to the YouTube channel. And go follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and make sure you give us a 5-star rating as well. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the growing subscriptions we're getting, growing subscribers, growing group of people, growing, what's the word? Community. That's the word. My brain had tumbleweeds. That's okay though. We will see you guys next week for another episode here of the Scoop and Score Football Show. For Spencer, I'm Logan. We'll see y'all next week. Take care. Sayonara.
Peace.